Hi everyone, welcome back. In the last lesson, we developed our register controller and service and data accessing object at the backend. And then in this lesson, we'll try to use Spring Data, which is configured by Spring Boot automatically to persist the registered object into database. Okay. Before we dive into that, there's one thing we need to fix, that is from the front end. So bring up your Atom editor and open your app component.ts. So we have developed the register.service file, and whenever you have whenever you have a service component which is marked as a dependency injection, you need to configure the providers for that service. Okay, so one way to do that is you can do it at application level. That's to say, we can import our register service here. Oops. Dot services register dot service. Okay, and then at this provider we can add our register service. All right, so that this register service component is ready to be used. We can come back to our browser to see the pages. You can refresh, and if you haven't started the Angular 2 server yet, you can start it, and then after that you can click on the register, come to the register page. Okay, and as long as you use this page, which means things are working fine. Now open up your Eclipse, and we'll start to do some configurations for Spring Data and Hibernate. And since in our pom.xml we have already included the Spring Boot starter data JPA dependency, okay, Spring Boot will take care of a lot of data dependency, data persistence related configuration. And what we need to do is just simply put some parameters and configurations in the application.properties, this file. Okay, so let's see how we can actually do that. And the first parameter we want to do is the spring.datasource.url. And this basically is pointing to the database service URL. Okay, and we are using MyCircle. The default port is 3306. Okay, and then we can put in our database name. Okay, the next parameter is username for our database accessing, and then password. So basically this is the username and password to allow the access to the database. So it's not very good practice to use the root as direct accessing. You usually want to create another user and give that user corresponding privileges to access database. But for now, just for demonstration purpose, I'll just keep it simple, all right? So this statement basically keeps the connection alive if the database connection is idle for a long time. Okay. And this validation query basically is for testing purpose. So select one is very well. That's the minimum, simplest form you can have for query, SQL query. And the point here, we just want to send out a simple SQL query to test the connection. All right. So this is pretty straightforward. We just want to show the SQL statement. And this one deal with the hibernate behavior about the tables. So we are marking it as update. So whenever it's marked as update, the system will check, hibernate will check whether the table exists in the database. If it exists, then we'll just directly modify it later. But if it's not exist, hibernate will help us to create those tables. All right. And this one deal with the naming strategies for those tables and columns. Here we will set up the dialect as different database system or platforms will have different dialects for the query language. All right. And next, after we finish configuration for our Hibernate, we need to create this database. So bring up whatever database tools you like. I'll just use my my tool called SQL Yog. Okay. And you want to create a new database. Make the name as the same as we just defined. Okay. All right. And you can see we don't have any tables for now. And let's just come back and start the program. It looks like we have some problems. Let's go take a look. So here we need to change the dash to dot. All right. And this one will have a improved. There's a D at the end. Okay. And this one, hibernate. Spelling is not correct. Okay, let's retry it. Okay, looks like we passed that. Okay, table not found. So you can see, Hibernate will first check if the table is found or not. Okay, Because it's not found, Hibernate will help us to update the schema for those tables. And it says schema update complete. Okay, and Tomcat just started. And then let's just go to our database to take a look. Let's refresh. Open our database, check the tables. There we go. We have our models persisted. And you can see here, there's an additional table to manage the relationship between the user and the photo. Okay. Let's open the table and see. So we have the corresponding user ID and like the photo list ID. Okay. Okay, that's pretty much for this lesson. In the next one, we'll start to try some data to register at the front end and see if we can actually persist the data into our database. All right. See you guys in the next video. Bye.